All right, what's going on, YouTube? Been a while since I've uploaded anything, and I felt like today was the day. It's time. Uh, I want to get back on track. I want to deliver the hard hitting news. Um, More so my opinion than anything, but that's what Roscoe Ramblings is about. So, listening to me ramble about what I want you to hear, and hopefully you have either an agreement or a disagreement, but some sort of opinion on the matter yourself. Otherwise, why are you here? What are you looking for? I don't know. Hopefully, it's sports news, because that's what I'm going to give to you. So, today, I really want to talk about the prime time when it comes to the NFL right now. Training camp, everything is kicking off. Rookies are reporting, contracts are finalized outside of what really bothers me in New York with Quinnen Williams. That's probably one of the main topics I'd like to talk about today is the fact that it bothers me more so than anything watching a rookie hold out. Yes, he was the number 3 pick. Yes, he's a monster. Yes, he should be excellent in an NFL uniform. However, he has never performed in the NFL. How many top 5, top 10 picks have we seen come and fall by the wayside due to lack of motivation or lack of determination to better their craft and just depending upon their athleticism? And that only gets you so far in this league. You got to be good and you got to want it. And if the first thing you're telling me, if I'm your GM, is that I'm more concerned with dollars than I am with sacks, tackles, practices, getting to know my teammates, and all of the above, I'm already a little held back with how much money I would choose to pay you to make you my franchise guy. Uh, Melvin Gordon in LA is a little different, being that he is entering the 5th year of his deal and he wants a new one due to the fact that he thinks he's worth more money. At least in this case, you can see that he has put up, I believe it's the 4th most yards from scrimmage since he's entered the league in 2015. So hard to pay the guy 28th place money when he's the 4th best running back. Is he worth $10 million? Maybe not. You could probably find some value somewhere along the free agency list or the rookies that are a lot cheaper. Austin Eckler has been actually really good in his absence. Not a great between the tackles runner, but great pass catcher. Good jittery little change of pace back, a la Darren Sproles, who just signed a new contract in Philly. I guess he refuses to retire. We'll see who lasts longer, him or Frank Gore in the league. Both of them have been pretty reliable. Sproles a little bit more nicked up in his later years, but it's good to see guys, wanting to end their career they want to and not being forced out by the league, but choosing to come back until they retire. Right now, as just a pure fan with no knowledge of any insider, goodness, all we can hope for is health through training camp between both rookies and veterans. It gets really sketchy anytime you pull up your NFL mobile or any app that you might follow the NFL through and you see your team highlighted. You just hold your breath thinking, oh, Lord, my quarterback tore his ACL. I don't know. It could be anything from that to a practice squad guy doing something stupid. But we also got, speaking of something stupid, we got Tyreek Hill back in the news with his not being punished by the NFL. No personal conduct policy there. I have a hard time believing that, considering the audio was quite damning. Yeah, sure, there was no video evidence, but he threatened a woman outright, pretty much accepted the fact that he was neglectful to his son and to the whole situation and that he knew he was in the wrong, but there's not one game, not 2 games, not anything. I would very much love to hear if you guys agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you think he was in the right, if the NFL's in the right. What do you think the situation is? There's got to be something going on, right? Something more that we don't know. Or is it just talent buys you the longest leash? Is that just how it works in the NFL? We've seen that players who play at an all-pro level normally get more passes than the guys who are on just special teams or the practice squad. I think it's sad, and it's a really bad precedent that the NFL is setting, especially moving forward with its 100th season. Um, and with all these talks about the CBA wanting to go to potentially, what was it, a 18 game season with 2 buys, but only allowing every player to play 16 games. Uh, Hopefully this is so out of the norm that nobody will pass this. I don't like this one bit. Of course, I want more football. Who doesn't? But this isn't the way to do it. Player safety should be number one. Also, if you're telling me that I have to bench my starting quarterback, whoever it might be, for 2 games out of the year just to provide the public with more games, I'm not quite sure. How would you choose that? Do you do it at the beginning? Do you do it at the end? I don't know how any of that would work. Strategy would definitely be a big thing, but I don't find that to be the step in the right direction. We'll see how the new rules that they've passed come into play over the next year with the challenging of the OPI and the DPI. Hopefully, it doesn't slow the game down. Replays seem to take too long as is. Uh, Refs have probably the hardest job in sports. I mean, they got to make a decision in a split second instant with the best athletes on the world hounding them, coaches hounding them, the booth review hounding them, and they still don't always get it right. It's the human error. I am more than okay with it. I hope that we don't get to a point where everything is challengeable and every play is reviewed down to the millimeter of the blade of grass on the field. Was he in? Was he out? It should be pretty darn clear. If you have referees that can't make a choice based off these super slow-mo, super zoomed in, down to the frame, down to the second replays, we either need to accept the fact that it's a flawed system, or we need to go the robot route, microchip everything, as they say. Put one in the ball, put one in the field. I don't know if that's necessarily a good idea. It sounds a little scary. I don't even know if we have the technology. But one play from last year in the NFC, what was that? The championship, yeah. Sent the Rams to the Super Bowl because of that missed DPI. And the whole league went into a panic. We'll see how it all plays out. Like I said previously, I hope it does not slow down the game. I'm praying that it doesn't slow down the game. All I want is nice pace of play, people to show to their camps, sign your dang contracts, play the dang game. Should be a wonderful 100th year. I'm not exactly looking forward to the Patriots hoisting the banner again, but if somebody's going to beat them, they got to play better. I'd love to hear who your team is, what you think their potential might be. I'm in Reno, so I'm kind of close to the Bay, which means I deal with a lot of Niner and Raider fans. But we are a transient city, so I get to talk to fans of all different kinds of teams. Minnesota, Miami, New England. Cleveland Brown fans seem to now be working themselves out of the woodwork now that they finally have hope for the first time in, 20, 25 years. My whole life, pretty much. They've been, in the dumps. But right now we hold our breath with 40 days, give or take, left until the start of the regular season. A handful of preseason games coming up, which I do enjoy. I like watching my second, third, fourth string guys compete for that last roster spot. You ever want to see anybody play hard, man, it's that guy who's on the bubble right there, not knowing if his career is going to go one more day with this team or if he's going to get cut and have to make it on another squad. Once again, health is by far the biggest thing right here. Scores don't really matter, but if we can get through training camp and preseason healthy, I think the NFL is going to be set up for a wonderful year. There looks to be a lot of talent on the horizon that came in through the draft for many teams at many positions. Of course, we're going to see what Patrick Mahomes has in year 2. as a starter anyway. Baker, he should take a step forward. Cleveland, a heavy paper favorite team, but don't have a lot of faith in the Browns to do a whole lot. That's another thing I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments would be, who are your Super Bowl favorites? AFC, NFC. Does your team have a shot at the playoffs / Super Bowl maybe? And some teams go into the season knowing that they're tanking. I'm pretty sure the Miami Dolphins don't expect to win the AFC East or even sniff out a wild card this year. But there's a lot of good talent at quarterback coming into the NFL potentially this next year. So if that move for Rosen doesn't work out, it's going to be right back at the top of the draft looking for either Tua or maybe Eason out of Washington. What up, dogs? So keep an eye out for all that stuff. There's going to be plenty of great storylines that come out in the next couple of weeks. I think the biggest one that is going to be followed is that Melvin Gordon. Is he going to hold? Oh, and Zeke, how could I forget about Ezekiel Elliott holding out potentially with 2 years left on his deal? Yes, he's worth many pennies, many dollars to be exact, actually. The guy's an absolute stud. I hate to admit that as a person who doesn't enjoy the Cowboys, but he passes the eye test on every major category. Blocking, running, catching. Guy's a tank. Pay him his money. We could see that Dak was not that great without him. So I know Dak's trying to squeeze his money. And then Cooper, who had a resurgence at the end of last year, he's going to want to get paid too. I don't know if you give him top dollar either. My priority, if I'm in the front office of the Cowboys, is getting Ezekiel Elliott on that field healthy, ready to go. He's going to walk over just about anybody. So let me know down in the comments what you guys are looking at for the NFL season. Are you excited for training camp? Is this boring? At least we're not talking about baseball, right? Sorry, I don't mean to shit on baseball. I enjoy it. Not exactly the easiest topic to talk about, though. So let's keep the NFL going, huh? Thank you for stopping in and watching this episode of Roscoe's Ramblings. Hit me in the comments, like, and subscribe. All right, have a great day, guys.